Alright guys, here we have the Marvel Legends Venom movie figure based off of the newer Venom movie directed by the guy who made Zombieland and Zombieland 2, I believe. And Eddie Brock is played by Tom Hardy. So I'm not going to lie to you, I was very, very pumped when this figure was announced. He looked beautiful in the images. I'm not a huge fan of the movie. I thought it was completely unnecessary, and it was just kind of crap. Not gonna lie. But Tom Hardy, on the other hand, is a fantastic Eddie Brock, and I cannot wait to see what they do with him down the line. Andy Serkis is directing Venom Part 2, and Woody Harrelson's gonna play Carnage, so that will be pretty interesting. Now, does this figure hold up, man? Is he a great new figure? I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk about it. But first, let's take a look at the packaging. Here I have a very scuffed up box, and it came like that, which is kind of weird. But I'm not a in-box collector, so whatever. But you get some pictures of Venom on the side from the movie poster. Just looking nasty. The Venom logo, Marvel Legends on the top, foreign up, dirty as hell looking. Pretty sure just part of the design, or maybe I just have a crusty package. Let me know. There's the barcode if you want it for any reason. On the back, we get a nice picture of the Venom figure. And on the top, it says, failed reporter Eddie Brock is hijacked by an alien entity that takes a liking to Earth and decides to protect it. Yeah, I don't think that was Venom's initial story. I guess I wasn't a fan of the movie just because it really wasn't true to the character of Venom entirely, in my opinion. And again, I feel like a Venom story without Spider-Man just ain't right. I mean, the whole reason the symbiote is doing all the web shit and has a vibe similar to Spidey is because of his attachment to Spider-Man. But I guess this guy isn't like super close to Spidey's likeness. Like in the comic books, he doesn't have any kind of symbol across the chest or anything. He's really not a whole ton like his comic book counterpart, but I mean, but he isn't at the same rate. I just feel it would have been more true to the character to wait until you could include Spider-Man in the movie. That would have been a lot better for the character. It just felt like an unnecessary cash grab. But Tom Hardy, man, he's such a good fucking actor. I love his performances. And given the right script, dude, if he was alongside Peter Parker at the Daily Bugle or some shit, or Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker, who's a bit older, wow. That could be fire. Could be absolutely incredible. But anyways, on to this figure. And keep in mind, that's just my opinion, so don't get all pissed at me. It's just, I didn't really like the movie all that much. It was okay. It's kind of dumb fun, I guess. It was fun to see a big beefy Venom running around on screen being a badass versus the Raimi Venom, which was a cool balance with Peter Parker a little, but it's still, the actual Venom wasn't very intimidating at all. It was just kind of screechy and annoying. But anyways, onto this figure. So he doesn't really come with a whole ton of accessories. First off, he does come with two fisted hands. Here's one of the fists. They look pretty much identical. They have sculpted lines on the top, and you can pop off that hand. A little bit tough to pop off. That one on, and it has a nice joint in there, and it looks okay, but I prefer the open hands personally. And then you get two different head sculpts. This is the first one with his long ass tongue. A very, very nice paint job on the teeth and the head. However, it looks like they missed some spots there with the teeth. You can see some spiky gums in there, which, I mean, it's nothing you person can't go fix up, but either way, the teeth look pretty phenomenal. The tongue's very long and very nasty and thick looking. It looks absolutely perfect. The eyes, resembles the movie counterpart. I kind of wish they were a bit more like spiky, you know what I mean? They're a little too clean, honestly. But overall, I think this is pretty good. It would be cool if the jaw was a bit longer and the teeth were a bit sharper. But it looks good. It looks a lot like the movie, and that is what matters, you know? You could critique the movie interpretation, but in regards to how much the figure actually looks like its movie counterpart, it's pretty striking resemblance. So then you get this closed teeth head, which gives me some strong McFarlane vibes here. You can see it has a dumbbell joint in the neck. It's not on a ball joint and a hinge. And oh god, it's really tough to pop on with mine. I really got to work it in there. And even now, it still doesn't really want to stay on. There we go. Now it's on. And I gotta be honest, it just looks really triangular and awkward on his body. Kind of looks like it doesn't fit totally, and I'm not a huge fan of it. I should have been a tiny bit bigger maybe. It's a bit awkward looking. But again, a really clean paint job and a really nice sculpt job for the most part. It's just a weird head in general. I don't know. I'm not huge on the whole Venom design, but I think this head definitely looks the best on the figure. Overall, this is it has a weird texture, man. It has a really nice texture to it that very much makes it feel like a symbiote, like just nasty, man. It looks good. I love the white lines on it. They look very, very clean. They're actually sculpted on the body. So you can tell this figure is very unique, and that is something that is really special when you get it from Hasbro, a unique body mold. Because, I mean, we see a lot of reuse with Hasbro. I mean, even this Morbius, reuse, Phage, reuse. This guy is something new. He's something brand new. He's something really special. And when they do that, there's a strong tendency to get some really beautiful figures, man. And this guy is a strong example of that. He's a really, really nice figure. The sculpt on him is great. The texture is great. But the actual proportioning of this guy is pretty fantastic. They really hit the nail on the head, in my opinion. The only thing I would complain about is the legs are a bit skinny, and I don't think that's really Hasbro's fault. It's more or less just the Venom character design. But it kind of makes the figure a little bit top heavy, so at times he's kind of unbalanced and awkward when you get him in strong stances. And it would have been nice if they included a cut below the knee so you could get him in some cool poses. That can be a little restrictive when you really want to get some dynamic poses going and get a nice balance on the figure so you don't feel like he's going to fall. Maybe I'm just really nitpicky about that, but it would have been nice to include. One thing I love about this figure that they include is the ab crunch as well as a swivel. I want to see that more. That's really beautiful. I'm kind of surprised they didn't include pinless joints with this guy, but I don't know the story behind the scenes, and it's really not a huge deal, especially because the pinless joints the pins are kind of hard to see because they're totally black along with this guy. So overall, there's not a whole ton to see aside from this brand new body mold. Again, I should show you this hand too. Again, pretty much what you'd expect, pretty nice. But overall, a very, very nice figure with very, very nice sculpt work, and I am very impressed with it. I cannot wait to see what else they do with this body mold. I hope they make a comic accurate Venom and maybe tweak some things in this body mold, like the legs a little bit. And because God, it would be such a stunning figure. It's such a perfect body mold. One thing I love about this guy too is the size of him. He's absolutely massive. He's a towering mass, and that is how Venom should be for the most part. I mean, the early McFarlane Venom was a pretty big, beefy boy, but I don't think he was like super towering. But when people think of Venom, they think of a towering creature, and this is it. He really is a great interpretation of Venom, and in my opinion, I think he could be used as a comic book Venom. Aside from lacking the symbol, he's pretty damn close, and I think you can pass off with him. Okay, so as for Venom's articulation, his head goes back about that far, not crazy far. Really nice side profile. Goes down pretty far. The jaw cannot move at all, which, I mean, the tongue is in the way, so it would be kind of pointless. There's a bit of a neck swivel there. That dumbbell joint kind of gives him an organic kind of movement, and it looks very cool and intimidating, so I like that. Obviously a rotation. The arms go out very far, very, very smooth motion, and that's a very interesting cut they did there on that joint. I'd be curious why they kind of cut that chunk out, but pretty smooth motion. Goes all the way around as well, kind of snaps and pops. A rotation at the bicep or the shoulder. Double jointed elbows, and there is a little bit of sculpt work on the actual joint because they're trying to hide it a little bit, but it doesn't work too well. There is a rotation at the wrist with a horizontal joint. There is obviously this swivel here, which gives a nice pivot to Venom. A very natural kind of movement, and a very crazy clean ab crunch that really is enhanced by that swivel. It looks awesome, so I love that. And again, just the nice pivoting motion with the swivel is fantastic. And obviously a rotation as well. That is quite natural, and I love it. The legs go out quite far. They do go forward pretty far as well. They don't go back too far. There's a rotation here. But yeah, they go out quite a bit. Double jointed knees as well. No rotation otherwise. Below. Did I mention the rotation? Yeah, I did. I'm backtracking here. And there is an ankle pivot here and a little hinge on his feet. And I should mention, the feet are kind of nasty looking, man. That sculpt just looks gross, but it's good. It looks dope. And for some reference on how big this guy is, here he is next to the retro wave Spider-Man, vintage wave, whatever, retro. And you can see he is a hell of a lot bigger, man. Just a huge frame compared to this amazing Spider-Man figure. And keep in mind, these two do share very similar articulation in the waist. Again, though, it would have been really nice to see some cuts below the knees with this Venom figure. Would have stood out a little bit, but still, man. Legends are known for the articulation. I think it's a pretty essential thing. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this review, feel free to drop a like down below and drop a comment and let me know what you think of this figure. How do you feel about the Venom movie? Do you think they should have released a comic accurate Venom on this body mold before they released the movie version? Let me know down below how you feel about this figure in general and this wave in general. Anyways guys, thank you for watching. Please stay tuned for more. I have more reviews coming. Please hit subscribe if you haven't yet. And most importantly, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay home. Stay quarantined. COVID's going crazy right now, so be smart. And keep collecting. Peace, guys.